was our land acknowledgement. So we acknowledge that on February 25th, 2025, we acknowledge that the sacred land on which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. And with that, I will call the meeting to order at 6:04. Just looking for approval of the agenda now. Does everybody have a copy of the agenda tonight?
We throw that in.
Or have access to it. All right, so is there firstly any questions or comments with the agenda? Anything anyone sees as needing change?
Can we just add the priority issues of elections?
Sorry, say that again.
Elections.
As in like the election that's tomorrow or day after tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes, we can add that. Sure. Where would you like to?
You can go as number C or D, sorry.
And Director Clark, if I could, I would like to just add that quick update from the Chamber of Commerce event that was held on January 20th. Bring everybody up to the same level of that. Wherever you see fit is great.
So I think should I say also elections? Anything else?
Well, we're gonna update on this projects.
Okay, so all of those additions, I have someone with us as an entity.
On the agenda as well.
Okay, thank you. I have someone second. Thank you. Okay. So here, and before we move on, I will just mention that we have request from Wire this evening. So we'll make sure he gets any correspondence or anything needed upon return. Our first priority issue that we have tonight is the designation of Jen Brown. We do have to adopt those yet. Okay, so we'll now move on to adopting the minutes from October 22nd. Did everybody receive a copy of those minutes? I know that was a while ago, but yes. Was there anything that stood out needed to be changed or added for anyone? No. Okay, so we will adopt those minutes then. Could I have someone move them, please? Heidi. And if I have someone second, thank you. All in favor? Motion carried.
And just if I could thank you to Janice for being at that meeting and taking those notes.
Yes. I will go to her. Well,
She's gonna watch and I go,
oh, good.
I did. I hate this.
Do we have any disclosure of military interest? No? None? Okay, long we have no delegations this evening. So we'll move on to priority issues. First one being the resignation of Jen Brown. And I'll ask Director Clark to answer correspondence associated with that you
So it's just that she actually the scheduling of the conflict is not able to decommit. So to attendance, she's tender coordination. So we would need a motion to accept that information. And then from that point, if we so move, then we would probably take it on the committee and I would take that to Chris Costello, which would put it out for a call for
So we will certainly thank Jen Brown for her contribution to the committee and for her wonderful work. Certainly great to have her as a voice for us. I do understand it is quite a commitment, and you know it's good that to recognize that that was difficult. So thank you to her. I have some to fix that, please. Thank you. Could I have some second or 40? Thank you. All in favor? Motion carried. Again, thank you. And for all your wonderful work. And we'll move on. So our second priority issue is a survey report back from the accessibility engagement survey that was conducted, and there was documents associated with that. Does everybody have a copy of the document?
I never got it, sorry.
So I'll give a little update and we can talk about but I can just give you an overview of sort of what the survey is like. Okay. So way back in 2024, which is like 6 years ago now, fall, they did this survey. Thank you, John, for helping with the questions together. But basically, our respondents were majority respondents. We had fewer than 50 respondents total. It appeared that we had a couple of duplicates. So I would say we had 30 and 40 respondents that were participated. I think it's duplicated by accident. And they ranged in 18 to 74. So it did capture various cross-section needs. Specifically, when we're speaking about spaces, they noted that they were total to the daily routines of folks. People were interacting with public spaces on a daily basis, for the most part. And it was public spaces is a variety. Park is a public space. This area here is a public space. The sidewalk is also a public space. So really, if you go outside of your home, you're interacting in a public space. So it was a fairly broad question, but it was interesting how people responded. And so some people said that it was only sort of weekly that they were engaging, and from their survey responses, as I recall, it was more they understood it as parks, recreational spaces, those types of things. From the other side, there was a lot of people who spoke a lot about what we already know is an issue in some areas, sidewalks. So we'll get to that. The challenges that we heard, specifically sidewalks. If you were, I think it was actually, what day is it? It was yesterday. Was Director McMahon, am I making this up? Was he here yesterday? No, there was a conversation about a sidewalk that we had the other day, and the sidewalk plow. It was the standard for sidewalks. I don't know anything about it, but I'm told that the standard for sidewalks is now 5 feet, but many of our sidewalks are 4 feet, so it's very difficult to maneuver. It's hard to pass. That it's not a multi-lane, multi-use sort of situation. So we're dealing with a lot of older structure. That's certainly noted within the survey. That was the number one thing that came back, was even sidewalks, inappropriate or awkward curb cuts, and sidewalks that were just crumbling or not meeting the need. So I think we are aware of that. Director McMahon did speak to us last year about the sidewalk plan, or the plans they have. And that is solely addressing sort of hopefully all of the sidewalks over time. It is fairly, I don't know how many kilometers of sidewalks we have. I think I'd like to look into that to get a better understanding of how many kilometers we have in town. Because obviously cost is sometimes prohibitive, but we need to continue on that process. So the key is, of course, the state of the sidewalks, but some of the conversation, it seems like, and this is an inference that I'm making, so it wasn't explicit in the survey, but the inference would be around the width of that sidewalk, which makes it difficult, especially in winter, to be passable. So winter maintenance was a concern. Commercial buildings were also concerned. Commercial buildings were spoken about as if they were a public space, because obviously if you're a business, you want the public to come in. So public space for me is a bit different than as a business owner. Public space means a municipal building, something like that, infrastructure. There was a lot of comments about the commercial buildings, the lack of access. Again, we talked about this before around this horseshoe, but that was something that certainly came clearly through this survey. Step entrances, lack of outdoors, and inaccessible interiors highlight the challenge of accessing businesses, particularly in the downtown core. This is something that we already know, but it's good information coming from more than just around the table. Parking facilities as well, shortage of accessible spaces and insufficient enforcement of parking regulations. That's something that came through. It adds another layer of difficulty, obviously, for folks with mobility needs. It didn't sound, there was only one, and again, I'm going off the top of my head, but as I recall, there's really only one person that indicated the lack of enforcement. There was more than one person that had indicated that there was not enough accessible parking spaces. So we can read into that as we should. Lighting and wayfinding, or lighting and inadequate signage throughout town. So not just in the parks, which make me feel good, but I do know we need to work on that. But throughout the community, there's difficult lighting and wayfinding. So that's actually a really key thing that we need to look at working on. And a lack of navigational aids exacerbates challenges, particularly in high traffic areas and during evening hours. So that was critical. Some of the comments that in terms of what the community wants, obviously infrastructure upgrades, better maintenance, enhanced parking, so response to all of the issues that we've identified, better accessibility, and also better seating. So one of the items is not related to the survey. My community service is looking at in terms of accessibility, so not just surface covering, but how far between seats should we have people who are walking far or walking anywhere. So standard would be 100 to 200 meters. We have certainly much more gaps than that at this point in time. That also came through in the report with better public seating, especially along the trails. So that's good because it has it all together. Some barriers, we asked to evaluate the current level of accessibility and responded that it was fair or poor. Comments reflect both the frustration but also the hope. Some quotes, there's some places I can go with this falls when I get in. I can often navigate without help. Snow removal leaves piles of blocked sidewalks. It's as if people in wheelchairs are returned to the winter months. And I can see the efforts in some areas that really doesn't feel like a priority yet. And I want to focus our efforts and priorities that we're added downtown businesses, and the businesses that branch off. Key intersections, so addressing curb cuts with traffic in particular, and community facilities, so accessibility gaps in the arena, virtual fund in the library, which is underway, other public buildings, and encouraging the commercial buildings to address the gaps as well. And the directions for action was to, the project went through was to develop a town-wide accessibility plan. And so the town plan, we're going to be actually talking about that in meetings and some of that looking at readdressing, because I think until 2025, 2026. So we're due to update it. So this again falls really neatly to advocate for funding. That's something that we certainly do, is write letters as the advisory committee and on behalf of the to write letters to advocate for some funding for support and to prioritize provide opportunity for positive suggestions of what we can do. I'm not sure by what was contained in here. This is all stuff that is often in my inbox and my comment boxes. It's the things that we just slowly pick away at, but I do get the pace a little bit. So that's what I've got. Any questions?
Mayor Franco.
Regarding accessible parking stalls, we have public land, or like parks.
So it didn't get down to minutia. So I think when this was put together, the public sphere in my mind was the museum infrastructure. But as people talked about commercial buildings, I would think that there was a conflation of the two. So we didn't get into or it wasn't included in the survey. If it was about enough spaces on Becker Street in the lot to lots, something like that. So I'd say it's probably both.
And we're going to have lots. I mean, say, grocery stores in town or stores. Unless we can agree with them, they pay us for wireless services, and not that right. And I like these other doors too as well. Policing it, so anyone who can make an just use those spots. But probably an opportunity there if we can have a number we want. I know that it's mentioned once before action is taken, but hire the town to do it. Second question is to and does have accessibility opportunities within it. And it's one thing I think we've had only one or two applications that I think that take advantage of that. And I guess it's disappointing there to help visitor property owners make changes. But I also wonder if it's even still paying half the cost as an example. The cost to upgrade an accessible washroom or make changes necessary to allow people to get along the I don't know if we've had conversations with BA recognize that the properties that would be more challenging would be in the DBA area. And I wonder the merits of perhaps working with them to businesses in downtown to help promote CIP and maybe even presentation session. So I think as much as we would, it'd be great to see every building in town accessible. Unless it's enforced or unless there's major incentives. For some, it's just a barrier to process. And they have so a barrier.
I can respond to that. I would, the conversations I think I've had with the DA is relatively informal as my side. I know that some health plan might have had some more formal because this is an issue that's come up before. And as you say, if you have this great plan, it doesn't pay enough money to support the upgrades, or it doesn't, if people don't know about it, then it's not helpful. The concern that what I've heard from conversations with business owners is that a lot don't own their buildings, so they're being asked to pay out of pocket to upgrade their landlord's area, and either they don't have permission, they don't have to get landlord, or so there's challenges there. So I think perhaps what we should look at, how can we negotiate with landlords? Maybe not negotiate, do that, but how can we ask the landlords, or and maybe that would be a you're paying for yourself and planning lands and at a staff level to see how we can do that effectively. Because I think that's may not be the only barrier. That is one of the barriers I've heard is that the landlord doesn't want me to do it, or I fix my roof and it's leaking and I don't know, not going to give me a door, those kind of things. Pushing folks to be encouraged, and I don't have any specific to pick on, but just general, that's kind of some of the comments I've heard.
Just a quick question off that. The CIP is now correct since budget was just. Is that correct? I just know that
Yes.
just waiting to apply for. I know of. I just want to know now. Is it official?
I would encourage them to reach out to contact us.
Okay.
For sure. Because I'm not sure. There was I'm fairly certain they cannot a staff report that opened the plan opened the right?
Well,
As a budget frame. Yeah. Because I think the intention, now, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe there was a staff report that came from Manager Frankie that put up the next CIP or declare the intention and then put that in the budget staff and approve. So I think that's
Okay.
welcome to contact planning. Yeah.
Any further questions?
Just another question for Stephanie. You said duplicate people. Do they just submit once, you think?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So there's a lot of duplicate IPs, that's for sure. That doesn't mean that it's not the computer with 5 different people from the same family.
Yeah.
But it's for the thing. But there was a number of exact like the line was just replicated. So probably what happened was somebody put submit, it didn't submit, so they put submit again. So
Okay.
yeah.
Just according to posted on January 27th, was the media release saying that the CI 2025 now in its third year funds.
Thank you.
All right, so I think, yeah.
Yeah, I guess just how the committee feels about the feedback. Any more comments? From a standpoint that this population living with some form of disability, and I've heard from the vast majority of my responses is pretty mostly probably not people that are there. Maybe not with disabilities, but still, it'd be great to have more understanding. Just paint a picture of some versus things that we don't do. But I'm not sure how much we learned from people who are. And I don't know how to reach out and get more understanding. Pardon?
Be there in front of them. The single most effective way to gather data is the most labor intensive and it's the algorithm and age intelligence and actually writing that's the way we're going to collect that. That's something that we want to do, then it would be labor intensive, it will be time intensive, and we have to go to people and spend hours, which is totally fine, and then go that would be the way that better cross section.
Maybe some merit to that, and I don't know if that's depending on students that get hired versus departments that have them go there for a day or two to do that, or unless there's the committee want to get involved in that. But I think you're right. You know,